Okay, we're live.
It's 9 o'clock. It's time for the regular scheduled meeting of Natchitoches School Board, October 8th, 2020. Board members and members of the public, please sign off your cell phones. Should you like to speak to an agenda item, please secure a form in the back of the room and pass it complete to that agenda item and pass it to the front. Ms. McGaskey, can you lead us in the pledge? And Ms. Beverly, can you lead us in the invocation? Let's do the invocation first.
Lord Father, I come to you today and I just thank you for this day, Lord. I thank you for this time to come together, Father, so that we can join together to serve you by serving the children and the families within our district, our parish. Lord Father, I just pray that you guide our hearts, provide us with godly wisdom, Lord, and just allow us to function in unity for the best for those within our parish. In Jesus' name. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, ladies. Ms. Beverly, we have a roll call.
Mr. Danzy?
Here.
Mr. McCry?
Here.
Mr. Benefield?
Here.
Mr. Garner?
Here.
Mr. Harris?
Present.
Mrs. Bedrow?
Here.
Mrs. Willis? Mrs. Broadway?
Here.
Mrs. McGaskey?
Here.
Ms. Palmer? Here. And Ms. Phelps?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Great. Our first order of business, superintendent report. Do you have any additional information, Superintendent?
I'd just like to touch on three quick items. First off, we are obviously monitoring the hurricane, but as our fall break is falling when it is, there's no need to shut down schools because we will be out of school Friday and Monday, but we wish everyone a safe time during this time period, and we hope that everyone weathers the storm much better than we did the last. The second item would be that I know a lot of our families and community members have expressed some frustration with the increased or remediated guidance from Office of Public Health. And in order to better understand that guidance, we've touched base with some of the local clinicians, some of the local doctors in town, and we're hoping to engage with them to bring them in the fold with Dr. Martha White out of Reed and 7, so that there's just some better understanding and perhaps some better dialogue about why those things are happening and all that. So just to give some more clarity. So we're excited about that. That's going to occur next week, and hopefully can bring together all these very smart people to understand what's going on and the whys and all that. And then finally, real quick, I'm excited that, if you've been following, one of our last items that we were getting in from our manufacturers were our hotspots. Those have come in this past week and a half, and Mr. Kozat and his team have been just deep in work. And what they were able to do is, if you go to NPSB.LA and you go to the technology, go to departments, then technology, and then Wi-Fi hotspots, on the page you will see a map of all the hotspots that students can use who are in virtual, or any student really in the district who has one of our devices. And I think currently they have probably over 20, and those are both our spots and community partners, and they are adding to that on a weekly basis, correct?
Daily.
daily basis, even better. So we're real excited, and if you have any questions as to where those hotspots are, you can easily go to the website. Again, departments, technology, Wi-Fi hotspots, and it's a Google map that shows you exactly where the hotspots are in relation to where you are. So very neat stuff. And that's all I have.
One thing I'd like you to elaborate on, and you touched on it briefly Tuesday night, was the red cap system. Can you give us a brief overview on how that red cap system works?
So the red cap system was produced by LDH, and it was done both because they want to be able to follow the data, but then also they felt like they needed to provide this tool to the school districts. And what it is each principal of each school, this is not a district tool, it's given to each school, and what they are able to do is when they have a student who is either positive or symptomatic, they enter these students in, and then they enter in just a wealth of information about the situation, the context of the situation, including their close contacts. And what that does is it really gives a large amount of data to the state and LDH to be able to see the trends as far as COVID, and also just on a very basic level report the basic data of, hey, we've had this many cases of school-aged children in the state during this period of time. So it really gives, again, to that idea of transparency when it comes to whether it's Natchitoches Parish or the state, to put all of our data out there. And it can also provide us, I'm supposed to be receiving a weekly report. We haven't started receiving that yet. It's going to come from LDOE, but a weekly report that compiles that data, and then I'll be able to compile those into monthly reports to be able to report to y'all that during the month of February we've had this many cases, or hopefully to tell you that we've had very few, if any, cases.
Okay, thank you. Board members, any old business? We talked briefly about those packets at your desk if you did not attend the training on September 19th. Any new business? Please examine the consent agenda. We have an offer by Mr. McGuire and a second by Reverend Harris. Ms. Reynolds, can we have a roll call vote on this consent agenda?
Mr. Danzy?
Yes.
Mr. McGuire?
Yes.
Mr. Benefield?
Yes.
Mr. Garner?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mrs. Gedrow?
Yes.
Mrs. Willis? Mrs. Broadway?
Yes.
Mrs. McGaskey?
Yes.
Ms. Palmer?
Yes.
And Ms. Phelps?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Mr. Dancy, can you present your report?
Yes, sir. Item number one, we had no appropriate action on bids to be opened. Item two, we received transportation report. Are there any updates with transportation, Mr. Matthew?
Hello, good afternoon. Good evening. Just an update from the last meeting. I know we spoke about attendance and different things we're putting in place for routes. I just wanted to come today and recognize that we have 92 drivers and monitors total, and right now we're at 82% with perfect attendance. I just wanted to let everybody know that and congratulate those drivers and monitors that's been coming every day faithfully and doing a great service to the kids in Natchitoches. That's all I had. Any other questions?
Mr. Matthews, just real quick, please convey to all the Echo drivers how much the district is appreciative of that. I mean, I think that's a huge statistic, especially during COVID, to say 82%. And we want them to know from our office how much we appreciate that.
I definitely will. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you. Item number three, we received tax commission report from Mr. Wascom. Any questions or anything you'd like to say, Mr. Wascom?
There's, other than what I reported last, 2 days ago, there's really no additional items on that.
Okay. Item number four, budget update, anything there?
No, sir, no adjustments to the budget report I submitted.
Okay. Any other items that
As far as it relates to budget,
Well, I don't, any other, well, I know you talked
While I'm
about
up there,
several
we also-
items there, yeah.
we had an item of emergency to get these schools fixed, emergency declaration.
And I think we have that on the
On their
agenda,
agenda. Okay.
later on.
I'm here if you need me.
Okay, thank you. We received the maintenance report, Mr. Giles, any comments on that?
Yeah, I'd like to, want to comment, I know, Cushionville School is not being used, but we have a bunch of big trees down and several other stuff will go around. We got PRE money, so I'd like when everything calms down or whatever, we can hire somebody to get the trees put out and cleaned up, you know, it might not, I ain't saying do it right now, but in the next few months,
No,
have it cleaned up or whatever.
we've already contacted a vendor to clean up Leachyville, hopefully sometime next week, once all the snow's not so muddy. We're not able to access the parking lots and things, and we're gonna get all that cleaned up.
Cause that's, what, you know, I know the other, you know, we're not using it or whatever, but when they get everything else straight, you know, just clean them out, the trees where they.
We're already gonna do that.
Get in there. Okay, all right, thank you.
Sure.
Item number 6, consider officially approving a resolution officially declaring results of the August 15th, 2020 election. And I will read a resolution here. Last we put logging up. A resolution providing for canvassing returns and declaring results of a special election held in Consolidated School District 7 of the Parish of Natchitoches, Louisiana on Saturday, August 15, 2020, to authorize a levy of a special tax therein. Be it resolved by the Parish School Board of Parish of Natchitoches, State of Louisiana, the governing authority, acting as the governing authority of Consolidated School District number 7 of the Parish of Natchitoches, Louisiana, the district that Section 1 canvass. This governing authority does now proceed in open and public session to examine the official tabulation of votes cast at special election held in school district number 7 of the Parish of Natchitoches, Louisiana on Saturday, August 15th. The election to authorize a levy of special tax therein pursuant to the following proposition. Proposition: shall Consolidated School District 7 of the Parish of Natchitoches, Louisiana, the district levy a special tax of 12 mills on all property subject to taxation within the district for a period of 10 years, beginning with the year 2020 and ending with the year 2029, an estimated $657,200 reasonably expected at this time to be collected from a levy of the tax for an entire year, for the purpose of giving additional aid and support to the public elementary and secondary schools in the district by providing funds for the construction, repairs, purchase of equipment and/or supplies and additional improvements. Said tax to be in lieu of and replacement ad valorem tax of 7 mills authorized to be levied in the district through the year 2020 at election held in said district on October 2nd, 2010.
I'll second.
We have an offer by Reverend Harrison, second by Mr. Eugene Warner, to officially approve this resolution canvassing the results of this election. Like a roll call vote on this, Ms. Reynolds?
Mr. Danzy?
Yes.
Mr. McGuire?
Yes.
Mr. Benefield?
Yes.
Mr. Garner?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mrs. Boudreaux?
Yes.
Mrs. Willis? Mrs. Broadway?
Yes.
Mrs. McGaskey?
Yes.
Ms. Palmer?
Yes.
And Ms. Phelps?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Item number 7, consider approving Louisiana Workforce Commission Social Services contract that Ms. Bennett presented on Tuesday, and I'll offer that motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Mr. Danzy, a second by Ms. Broadway on this item. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Item number 8, we tabled that one in consideration of, Mr. Wasman's gonna review some items and come back with some recommendations on that. Item number 9, consider approving millage rates for the year 2020. And I will read resolution 1 and 2.
Resolution 1, be it resolved by the Natchitoches Parish School Board of the Parish of Natchitoches, Louisiana, a public meeting held on September 10th, 2020, which meeting was conducted in accordance with open meetings law and additional requirements of Article 7, Section 23C of the Louisiana Constitution and RS 47-1705B.
Mr. Danzy, that date is October 8th.
October 8th.
Yes, sir.
Let that read October 8th, that's correct. Thank you for correcting that. Requirements of Article 7, Section 23C of the Louisiana Constitution, RS 47-1705B, that the following adjusted millage rates be and they are hereby levied upon the dollar of assessed valuation of all property subject to ad valorem taxation within said parish for the year 2020 for the purpose of raising revenue.
I'll second.
We have offered by Reverend Harris and second by Mr. Eugene Garner. We need a roll call vote, Mr. Rose.
Mr. Danzy,
Yes.
Mr. McGuire,
No.
Mr. Benefield,
Yes.
Mr. Garner,
Yes.
Mr. Harris,
Yes.
Mrs. Boudreaux,
Yes.
Mrs. Willis, Mrs. Broadway,
Yes.
Mrs. McGaskey,
Yes.
Ms. Palmer,
Yes.
and Ms. Phillips.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Resolution number 2, be it resolved by the Natchitoches Parish School Board of the Parish of Natchitoches, Louisiana, a public meeting held on October 8th, 2020, which meeting was conducted in accordance with open meetings law and additional requirements of Article 7, Section 23C of the Louisiana Constitution and RS 47-1705B, that the taxable district voted to increase the millage rates but not excess the prior year maximum rate on all taxable property shown on the official assessment roll for the year 2020, and when collected, the revenues from said taxes shall be used only for specific purposes for which said taxes have been levied. Said millage rates are constituted parish-wide 4.56 adjusted rate, 2020 levy 4.65, special parish-wide tax 6.87, this is all in mills, 2020 levy 7.00 mills, consolidated district 7 BRE 6.92, adjusted rate 7.00 mills, 2020 levy, consolidated school district 8 BRE 6.86, adjusted rate 7.00 mills, 2020 levy, consolidated school district 8 special 6.86 mills, adjusted rate 7.00 mills for the 2020 levy, consolidated school district 10 BRE 19.940, adjusted rate 2020 levy is 20.00 mills. Bond issues, consolidated school district 7 tax account 11.50 mills, consolidated school district 8 tax account 33 mills, school district 9 tax account 8 mills.
We have an offer by Mr. Garner, second by Reverend Harris on these villages. Roll call vote, Mrs. Rebels?
Mr. Danzy,
Yes.
Mr. McGuire,
No.
Mr. Benefield,
Yes.
Mr. Garner,
Yes.
Mr. Harris,
Yes.
Mrs. Boudreaux,
Yes.
Mrs. Willis, Mrs. Broadway,
Yes.
Mrs. McGaskey,
Yes.
Ms. Palmer,
Yes.
and Ms. Phelps.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Mr. Dean, that second, resolution had an October 8th date on it also?
Yes, sir, I didn't say that. That's second one had October 8th.
That was October 8th, okay.
Yes, I did state it at the top.
Okay, good deal. Thank you. Just want to make sure housekeeping.
Yes. Item number 10, consider approving contract for facility usage at Northwestern State University. Superintendent Eloy went over that in the Tuesday meeting, and I'll offer that.
And just real quick, for those of you who didn't get to check your email today, the additional cost from the previous contract was $2,500, and that was to cover their increased contract rate for their cleaning company.
We have an offer by Mr. Danzy on the floor. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second by Mrs. Boudreaux. Roll call vote, Mrs. Rose?
Mr. Danzy,
Yes.
Mr. McGuire,
Yes.
Mr. Benefield,
Yes.
Mr. Garner,
Yes.
Mr. Harris,
Yes.
Mrs. Deidros,
Yes.
Mrs. Willis, Mrs. Broadway,
Yes.
Mrs. McGaskey,
Yes.
Ms. Palmer,
Yes.
and Ms. Phelps.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Mr. Deans, before you proceed further, I was neglecting reminding board members to speak directly into the microphone if you can. So members of the public can hear what we're saying. Thank you. I'm sorry.
Item 11, consider granting permission for Mr. Perry Watson, School Board Architect, to look at the roof on the office building and ceiling damage at Goldall Elementary Junior High School.
I'll offer that.
I'll say.
We have an offer by Mr. Garner, second by Reverend Harris to inspect and check the damage in Goldall Elementary, item 11. Roll call vote, Mrs. Revels?
Mr. Danzy.
Yes.
Mr. McGuire.
Yes.
Mr. Benefield,
Yes.
Mr. Garner,
Yes.
Mr. Harris,
Yes.
Mrs. Deidros,
Yes.
Mrs. Willis, Mrs. Broadway,
Yes.
Mrs. McGaskey,
Yes.
Ms. Palmer,
Yes.
Ms. Phelps.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Item 12, consider approving installation of a sidewalk from the parking lot to the ball field and from the ball field to the main building at Fairview Elementary Junior High School.
I'm offer.
I'll second it.
We have an offer by Reverend Harris, second by Mr. Eugene Garner. This item will take, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Mr. President, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Dancy. Mrs. Page. See, we have some updates in our packet.
Just a few additions. Do you have any questions about it?
And the answer to your question, on the other night, she was a non-certified teacher. She was there, listed as a non-certified teacher.
And now certified or
Tech.
but it's a teacher. Okay.
Any questions?
Do I hear an offer to approve Mrs. Page's
I have a
report?
question.
Okay.
Who replaced, the principal that we have a different person?
I meet school.
Okay.
I'll offer.
I'll second.
We have an offer by Mr. Eugene Garner, second by Reverend Harris to approve the personnel report. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Abstain.
We have one, it's a recuse or abstain?
Which do you prefer?
Recuse says that you realize there could be a conflict of interest,
I realize there could be a conflict of interest.
so she is recusing. Ms. Rose. Thank you, Ms. Phelps, for that.
All right. Item 1, consider approving naming of the NCHS football field, the J.D. Garrett football field.
I'll offer.
Second.
We have an offer by Ms. Phelps and the second by Mr. Dancy for item 1, considering renaming the football field Nash Central to J.D. Garrett football field. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Item 2, consider approving naming of the NCHS field house, Eugene Christmas Field House.
I'll offer. Second.
We have an offer by Mrs. Broadway and a second by Mrs. McGaskey to name the new Niagara Central High School Field House the Eugene Christmas Field House. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Item 3, consider approving pupil progression plan update.
Yeah, there's one update to that. If you recall, there was 3 items that we were adding. If you turn to page 22, the grading policy, we would like to table that portion of it until November. We had some discussion from some schools, some teachers, and some principals who would like to further time to add some insight into that. So we'd like to be able to give them that. So we will be offering pupil progression with the exception of that portion of the grading policy, which we will come back to in November.
Is that page 22?
Yes, sir.
What section?
Section,
It's uniform grade policy, right?
The virtual grading policy with the I and the 0. Yeah.
I think that's a good
Just the
opportunity to
virtual
rethink
form,
that.
right?
Correct.
Rethink that, that's great.
Agree with that.
Okay. Superintendent Eloy has asked us to adopt the pupil progression plan. Do I hear a motion?
I move that we accept the pupil progression with the virtual grading postponed until November.
I'll second.
And we have a motion by Mrs. Gidros, a second by Reverend Harris to accept item 3, approving the pupil progression plan with the exception of the section of virtual grading and a pull-out on page 22. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Item 4, discuss the adoption of the board communication software board doc. Benefit.
We had some good discussion Tuesday night in committee. A majority of the school systems in the state are using this board docs. Superintendent Eloy actually gave us some additional information which makes this a much more powerful tool than we thought originally. And I'd like to offer this item.
Second.
Offered by I believe Benefield, second by Mr. McGuire. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Item 5, receive and consider approving cultural diversity initiative update and district anti-racism statement.
So there were some board members who weren't here. Would y'all mind if Ms. Rochelle read that statement for us prior to the vote?
Cool. Yeah.
Natchitoches Parish Schools reject all forms of racism as we commit to recognizing, addressing, and eradicating all measures that are not aligned with our mission, vision, and goals. We stand ready to listen and take action.
I'll offer.
A second.
Have an offer by Reverend Harris and a second by Mrs. Phelps. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Ms. Rochelle.
Thank you.
Reverend Harris, can you take 7 in front of 6?
I kind of figured that. Consider approve resolution of declaration of public emergency as a result of a Category 4 hurricane on August 27, 2020. Mr. Leroy.
Do I need to read it into, or do y'all have it?
We all have
Or
it.
do I just field questions?
I'll second.
Okay, we have an offer by Mr. McGuire and a second by Mr. Eugene Garner. Any discussion on this item? It is fairly much boilerplate, but it is emergency declaration. And, Mr. Watson,
Yes.
can you hit the high spots?
Yes, we have, pretty significant damage in, at Goldana. We have some at, Natchitoches, Junior High. The dome was rocking. There's a lot of leaks that have popped up. Every single campus has, some damage. Natchitoches Central, not so bad, but there's multiple leaks. These are all leaks that have shown up since the, and continue since the, hurricane. We've got to, spoken to a gentleman to go to work and start sealing these up. These will not be, I will not be spending a large amount of money to, patch holes that would then last us 20 years. My idea is to seal things up. FEMA wants us to go into remediation, to remediate the problem. And then we will work with FEMA on actually getting more permanent fixes, okay? So this emergency is just to get us until FEMA's numbers are come in, which I'll come back to y'all later with. But in FEMA, we will have to get bids and stuff, but we need to seal everything up so the place is secure and we don't have mold setting up or any of the other dangerous issues that come on.
And we have 3 straight days of rain coming up.
Yes, and we have, I don't know what the nature of this hurricane when it arrives, I just hope it's just rain. But either way.
Just want to let everyone know that Livingston Parish, from the 2016 flood, of the 1,000-year flood, Livingston Parish, from the 2016 flood, received their FEMA money this summer. And so this is gonna be a long haul as opposed to a short haul.
So this will patch us until the issues with FEMA are resolved,
So
okay?
FEMA's not gonna dash in and start writing checks. It's not
That's
gonna
correct.
happen.
So that's
So
the
we have
nature
an
of this money
offer.
messing.
We have an offer, and help me again,
I made this.
by, and second by Mr. Garner. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Now, question. Mr. Twain, I'm gonna call on you. Should this be a roll call vote? It's not taxes. And we're, as a board, we are approving it as a group. Should this, I don't think this will be a roll call vote. I think this will. Okay, good deal. Do we hear a motion to go in executive session? Motion by Mr. Danzy, second by Mr. McGuire. All in favor to go in executive session. Roll call, Ms. Reynolds.
Can we get a clarification on that? Was it Harris and Dan, Mr. Dan, Mr. Harris and Mr. Dan?
Yeah, it was. You said he was in the
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Came from the same way. Yeah.
Those masks, didn't they?
Yeah, came from the
Okay. Mr. Danzy,
Yes.
Mr. McGuire,
Yeah.
Mr. Benefield,
Yes.
Mr. Garner,
Yes.
Mr. Harris,
Yes.
Mrs. Pedro,
Yes.
Mrs. Willis, Mrs. Broadway,
Yes.
Mrs. McGaskey,
Yes.
Ms. Palmer,
Yes.
and Ms. Bell.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you. We are in executive session.